Listen, you know what's going on. Monk Mo Gang, you know what's going on. Listen, bro, at the end of the day, if you live in the 50 states of America, you have to realize how blessed you are. Besides women, listen, once you control your lust, listen, SEX has nothing to do with you. Listen, you got to understand a woman's curves have nothing to do with you. You say King 40, how so? Listen, you got to understand, her bubble is her bubble. Her camel toe is her camel toe. Her cleavage is her cleavage. This has nothing to do with you. At the end of the day, if you live in any of the 50 states, listen, you got to understand, America is not like Europe. I repeat, America is not like Europe. In Europe, the next state over could speak a totally different dialect. The next state over from that state could speak a whole different language. At the end of the day, in all 50 states, you can run it up because you can speak the language of all 50 states. I repeat, they speak English from New York all the way to Hawaii. I repeat, for the guys who didn't hear me in the back, yes you, they speak English from Hawaii to Miami to New York to Cleveland to Texas. They speak English. So with that being said, instead of pouting about women, instead of getting stepped on because you can't control your lust, instead, let's just run up the numbers in YouTube. Let's just run up the revenue on YouTube. Let's get digital real estate on YouTube. Let's have more than one channel. At the end of the day, we can't be butthurt. At the end of the day, it's time to get in shape and step your game up. I repeat, at the end of the day, it's time to get in shape and step your game up. Listen, at the end of the day, you gotta realize the masses does not want to step their game up. This is why you have to avoid the masses. Instead of stepping their game up, they want to use and devour and attack everybody who's local. I repeat, they want to attack everybody who's local and everybody who wants to fit in. They want to laugh at each other. They want to joke about each other. They want to talk down on each other. At the end of the day, they want to rob and steal from each other instead of creating content. Listen, at the end of the day, listen, if you're an introvert, this is the best time for us to eat. At the end of the day, we don't got to go to round table meetings. At the end of the day, we could run it up on YouTube. At the end of the day, we could drop content, create content. We could change lives. Listen, at the end of the day, we can change unrighteous men into righteous men. We can show righteous men, listen, there's other righteous men out here. At the end of the day, all men are not the same. At the end of the day, all men do not have lust problems. At the end of the day, all men are not trying to step on you and get you stepped on like Steph is so cold just because he had a wife and he's getting cheated on. At the end of the day, listen, their reality is not your reality. Their reality is not our reality. We practice monk mode. We represent strength. At the end of the day, listen, we dropping content. At the end of the day, these guys are complaining. They want to stay traditional, work a 6-figure job. They'll never be able to go to Aspen. They'll never be able to get the $50 million mansion. At the end of the day, overseas is not because the women are better. Overseas is because the real estate is better. At the end of the day, I can get an island for $20 million. In America, for $20 million, I'm getting a small mansion. At the end of the day, listen, at the end of the day, Monk Mo Gang, you know what's going on. Listen, you have an opportunity in 2025 and up. Listen, everybody's complaining, oh, the robots are going to take over the jobs. At the end of the day, all you need is one job, not two. In this generation, you need one job and creating content for your second job. Creating content should be your second job. I repeat, creating content should be your second job. If you're not creating content on YouTube, what are you doing? Have you been sleeping under a rock? A lot of people have been sleeping under a rock, and I'm here to tell you, if you've seen this video and you was sleeping under a rock, now I'm here to tell you that you don't need to sleep under that rock no more. Listen, you can create content. You don't have to be like the 97 to 98% of people who's just going to keep complaining. They're going to keep devouring each other. They're going to keep dating. They're going to keep catching SA charges. They're going to keep drinking Don Julio around women and going to jail for life. At the end of the day, listen, we don't have to keep doing it. At the end of the day, we could drive all matte black Ferraris pulling up like the Batman with the yellow symbol. At the end of the day, we got the Batcave and we fleeing from all Catwoman. Bars. At the end of the day, I said we pulling up in a matte black C8. We pulling up in a matte black Lambo, the matte black Ferrari with the yellow symbol like the Batmobile, and we fleeing from all Catwoman. At the end of the day, you know what's going on. Monk Mode Gang, you know what's going on. Listen, bro.